Greetings, greetings, family. We are live. Sister Shanice in the house alongside Dr. Abu and Sister Aminata. And we are delighted to have you join us for another deeply insightful, educational, and, pertinent discussion that we're going to be having here this evening as Africans. So, we want to thank you in advance for joining us in our audience, for participating through the chat. We want to thank you in advance for your comments. We want to thank you for your questions, your points of view. And as you come in, please do give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and also please do let family and friends know that we are now live. We've got a couple more guests that are going to be joining us, and we look forward to them coming on board as well. But as you can see, we've got Dr. Abu in the house. Rise up, Dr. Abu.
Rise up, Sister Shanice and
Greetings.
Sister Aminata. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Rise up, brothers.
Yeah, man,
ready for revolution.
Shay.
Yes. And how are you today, Dr. Abu?
Well, I give thanks. I give thanks that I can see you and the Empress. I give thanks that I can breathe life, because some of us is in more difficult position than where I am right now. So I give thanks for life.
Ashe, Ashe. Aminata, how are you? Welcome from the Gambia. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sister Shanice. I'm so happy to be on this platform with the wonderful brother Dr. Abu. And also, I've been following your shows. So you've been doing a wonderful job for the African continent, especially for us, the women. We're super proud of you, my sister. So I'm happy to be here.
We are honored. We're delighted. Thank you so, so much as well for following my sis. Much, much appreciate love. So we're just waiting for the family to come in through the door and to join us. As you do, please do give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're in the house. Let us know where you're viewing us from so that we can rise you up. So family, as you join, we certainly hope that today has been a great day for you so far, that you've risen in power, that you've risen in strength, that you have risen to accomplish much. We're going to be doing the job that we can to, to educate, to enlighten, to raise awareness about the issues that are impacting on us. Also, if I can let you know as well that there have been a number of shows that a couple of shows that I've recently done here on the channel. If you joined us last night for that deeply insightful presentation that was delivered by Sister Taiwo, you would have heard how a group of 55 investors were basically robbed of almost $500,000. This is a lot of people's hard-earned money. And as devastating as the story is, there are so many lessons to be learned from it. But the good news is that this group, of investors are not going to be giving up. They're going to be continuing, to do what needs to be done in order to build themselves, the industries on the continent to contribute towards the growth and the development of Mama Africa. And so that show is, and that presentation is on the channel. Please do check it out. Also, I interviewed a wonderful couple, Amanda and Lamin, from here in the Gambia, and they've built their own dream resort. If you want to see the resort that they've built and are also in the process of building, do check out that story on my site. And also, of course, we've got the previous shows, and we did a great show last Thursday with a group of young people. Young people just got my heart. And we were talking about the Rapid Africa Plan, which is absolutely critical because all young people need to hear about the Rapid Africa Plan. It's about how, as young people, you're going to be transforming the continent of Africa, how you as young people are going to be driving forward the change. It's going to be industrializing Africa. It's going to be bringing Africa into the technological future. So I'm really excited about the future of Africa in the hands of our young people. And, you know, if you want to find out more about that vision, then, you know, just go onto my channel and check out that news as well. Dr. Abu, I know you're always busy doing shows on the Big G Galaxy FOE. Plus, I know you put out videos as well. Tell the family a little bit about the information that you circulate and how, you know, they can always keep in touch and find out what new you're putting out there in the media world.
Well, I just put out short things to just remind our people where they are. You understand? I know put out long things. Sometimes it just 3 minutes of just point them in the right direction. You understand? Because sometimes we forgot that we're an addict blood. You understand? You know, this is where a lot of people afraid to acknowledge. You know, a lot of us African, we're an addict on whiteness, white privilege, and we don't know how. You know, you have to acknowledge that. You know, I'm a recoverer. I'm recovering from white privilege. You understand? You know, when our eye open, as a sister, we know, enter you go down the Surat al-Mustaqim. You will go down the straight path. But right now, we are in a city where it's run by jinns. Where we are, jinns is their king. You understand? You know, so we can't expect good to come from them. We have to use the jinn to build our temple.
Right.
That's what we have to do. We have to be wise in this time. You know, so we have to run with our narrative and we have to control ourselves and we have to respect ourselves. You know, like today we celebrating the birth of our great Malcom X. You understand?
Right.
But sometimes we love the mango, but we forgot that it comes from a tree. And we also forgot that the tree planted in the ground. So sometimes it's not only that, we have to look and see where we are, you know. Every man and woman that we honor come from a woman. So I said, give thanks. Give thanks to the womb that bore me. I said, give thanks.
Give thanks indeed, Dr. Abu, for those opening remarks. Brilliant, brilliant. You're so right. Sister Aminata, can we have some opening remarks from yourself?
I am so thrilled by the opening remarks of the wonderful brother, Dr. Abu. Men for the emancipation of women is very, very crucial in this struggle, definitely. And recognizing the efforts of women is the foundation of building towards unified socialist Africa. So I'm really happy to be on this show. I think I'm on spot.
We're happy to be linked with you as well. And I can see our brother Ziziwe is getting ready backstage. His camera is now on. So let's bring in our brother Ziziwe and add him to the screen and give him a moment so that he can introduce himself to us. Greetings, brother Ziziwe. Welcome to the Sister Shanice Show.
Hey,
How are you?
ready for revolution. Dr. Abu, how you been?
And I'm a virgin. Respect.
My sister Aminata. Yes. Sister Aminata, did you tell them about your work at Pan-Af TV?
Anybody? No, I haven't said that already. I haven't said it. No, I haven't shared it with them.
Okay.
Anybody?
Oh. Yeah, so you want me to introduce myself. I'm Zizwe Chaguka, a member of the All African People's Revolutionary Party, the party of Kwame Nkrumah. He founded it in 1968. And our objective is the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism. And we know that must be the primary objective of all Black revolutionaries. So it is an objective when it's achieved, will bring about the fulfillment of the aspirations of Africa and the people of African descent everywhere. It will at the same time of the international socialist revolution and the whole progress towards world communism, under which every society is ordered on the principle of from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Zizwe. I hope everyone was able to hear you okay. A little bit of interference from my end. Did he come through clear to you, Dr. Abu? Yeah, fantastic. Because I do have a
yeah, I had a hard time getting on myself.
Okay, and we know that our other guest is trying to get on as well. So we hope Sheen will be able to join us quite soon as well. Okay, let's see who we've got in our audience tonight. Okay, we've got JJ. He's watching from the UK, or she's watching from the UK. Saying good evening, family, watching from the UK. Rise up yourself, JJ. Also, we got Kimani in the house saying greetings, family. Richmond is sending out peace to the entire family. Hey, we got Happy Companion in the house. Rise up, Happy Companion. We have Abini in the house saying greetings, Sister Shanice and guests. All in the chat. Greeting all in the chat as well. Rise up, Sister Doreen in the house. She's saying, hi, Sister Shanice. Great to see you looking as cool as ever. Oh, I wish I felt as cool. I've got a fan here. I've got tissues going on. I'm still not used to the heat. But thank you. I'm glad I'm looking cool even though I'm not feeling it. Rise up, sis. Glad to have you in the audience. We've got Abini Maroon saying greetings to everybody. And we have Obiaman in the house as well. Afrijamo is in the house. Mr. Wilfred Lloyd is in the house. Watching from Malawi. Welcome from Malawi. Brilliant to have Malawi in the house. We've got Cherno, who's watching from Spain. Fantastic. We've got Lady V, who I believe is watching from the Gambia. Rise up, Lady V. So if you're watching in the audience, drop us a note. Let us know where you are viewing us from. Hey, rise up, Gustavo, who is residing in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Great to have you in the house as well. Okay, so the family is just joining us. As you join us, please do give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and also drop us a note in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Okay, someone's saying Tuna Cheeky. Okay, Tuna Cheeky, back at ya, watching the Hawks. Don't know what it is, but I hope it's something good. Okay, looks like I've got a bit.
We got myself and Dr. Abu. I can see so far.
Okay, Brother Ziziwe, it looks as though you dropped to me, as though you dropped out, but you're back again.
Yes, we do.
And the audio is not sounding very clear to me. But is it clear to you, Dr. Abu? Are you hearing Brother Ziziwe well? Or is there a problem with his audio?
Not that clear. Yeah, some audio is a bit muffled.
Yeah. Brother Ziziwe, we have a little problem with your audio. Maybe if you could just move somewhere where you can get a bit better reception. Okay, so he's going to try and get a bit of a better reception. And we have Jean Selbert in the house. Welcome from Haiti. How are you, Jean?
I'm doing well, pretty good, and happy to be here with you. A little bit tired since yesterday was 18, our Flag Day. I was on the street supporting the protest, and I'm happy to be with you now and hope everybody's going okay.
We're doing okay, and we're glad to have you join us. Your audio is a little echoey. Have you got a remote audio device that you're using?
I think it's due to the room where I am because it's a bit close, because, you know, I'm in the middle of a ghetto. There's a lot of noise outside, so I...
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we welcome you from Haiti. What was the demonstration that you were on yesterday? Tell us about that, please.
Okay. Yesterday, as every year, and this day that May 18 is the day of our flag, the Haitian flag.
The day of the Haitian flag.
Yeah. Because our flag was created in May 18 and the year of 1803 by Catherine Franc, a woman. And the people, instead of celebrate this day of a flag, of the day of the creation of the flag, we profit this day to say no. We profit this day to say no to the U.S. imperialism in Haiti, and we profit to say no to our actual government that is mandate is at this time since last February 7, and we wanted to let the international community know that we are not agree with what is happening, and we are not gonna give up, and we're gonna still stay strong. Every time, every moment we got the opportunity, we will still be on the street days and nights. Still, we have what we deserve, which is freedom.
Absolutely. And my, it's been a historic journey, hasn't it, for Haiti in terms of its fight for freedom. You know, goes back to the 17th, early 18th century, Toussaint Louverture, Dessalines, Boukman Dutty, you know, some of the very early revolutionaries, and the fight has continued from then until now. My brother, for those of us who, you know, may not be aware of the history of Haiti in terms of its revolutionary struggles, I wonder if you could give us a brief overview of the struggles of Haiti from then till now.
Okay, but
Oops. Has our brother frozen?
Yeah,
it's
Oh, we've lost our brother there. Okay, we're not doing too good with the internet this evening, but we will press ahead regardless. Let's go over to our sister Aminata. Aminata, welcome again. And we've heard some opening remarks from you. So let's get into business now. So, my sister, and then what we'll do, we'll take Jean after you. So, Aminata, you're joining us from the Gambia, and you're involved in heading up one of the African Liberation Day events here. I wonder if you could give us a bit of background to your involvement in ALD here in the Gambia.
Thank you very much, Sister Sanis, and welcome to my brother from Haiti, and Dr. Abu and brother Zisi as well. The struggle in the Gambia is just like any other part of the world. Going through the Western education, we have to learn to unlearn, to know who we really are as Africans, and growing up, having the Western, the imperialist ideologies impacted in us in terms of education and stuff. So it becomes very difficult for one to unlearn those traditions and really relearn to know who you really are. So we were lucky to be part of a Pan-African school Pan-African society. So we had clubs back then in schools from senior secondary school. We started organizing ALDs in the forms of symposiums where we will educate our fellow students, and then we organized study circles, and then we were reading books like Timba and Nkrumah and Co. So that's how we started it, and now we're making way. But despite the struggles, now at the university we're just about to launch the University of the Gambia's first ever Pan African Students Union. So PASA, which is really going to be a very big milestone in the struggle in the Gambia. So it's the first of its kind. Several attempts have been made in the past, to bring up students together, but it's usually very difficult, and funding and getting people organized, and it's usually having the masses organized is a very difficult, especially at tertiary institutions. With secondary schools, it was a lot easier because then we were conscious. We had study cycles going on between university and school and work life. It becomes very, very difficult. People get distracted with what's happening, and also with the kind of education that they're having, they feel like, this is never going to happen. We talk about the total unification and liberation of the Africa under one scientific socialism. They say it's never going to happen. So it's a tedious job, definitely, but we're on it. We're on it. And on the 25th, we're also going to have the luncheon, and we're also going to have another symposium, which we're organizing as well for the ALD.
Okay, that's great. And, you know, is this ALD event one of a series of events that you've been having, series of ALD events that you've been having, or is the Gambia's participation in ALD fairly recent? How long has it been going on for?
It has been in between 2005 and 2015, we have been really very active. And then with some of our members, we had internal issues, which kind of brought down the CC. And then since then, to reconvert the CC again was very difficult. So it's like you have different fragments of the path we call it Pan-African Congress. So it becomes very difficult to bring all those because of internal differences that we had in the past, especially with our chief servants and the leaders then. So we just thought, as the young ones coming up, that it is our responsibility to make sure we reorganize ourselves, and then make sure we revive the spirit and the study cycle, especially because most of the things that we've learned in the struggle is through the study cycles that we were doing monthly or bi-weekly. And that has really helped us greatly. So we're trying to revive that. It's not just a one-off, it's just one of the events that we normally do. We do have also school tours. We normally go to school, and then they have, where there are no Pan-African clubs, we organize the students to organize themselves into Pan-African clubs. And then we go there with material, we bring material, we introduce ourselves, we introduce the mission, we orient them into the struggle. And then we make sure also we monitor and we help them as we go along. So these are also some of the things that we have been doing. We used to have a sisters union that was very strong back in the days, that would used to empower on different projects, women self-help projects, for instance, to make tie and dye, batik, to make sure we empower ourselves financially. But all of those things collapsed, and we're hoping to revive them with time.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. So quite a history there. Okay, I can see our brother Zizwe trying to get back online. Let's hope that he will be able to join us. I can't see him in the camera at the moment, but I can see that he's trying to get back. So while we've got our brother Jean, let's go over to him now, and let's hear about the history of Haiti's revolutionary struggles thus far. My brother Jean. Oh, take yourself off mute, please, my brother.
Thank you. Sorry. And my personal name, and then the name of all the Haitians, especially all our activists, we are thanking you to give us this opportunity to let the people, to let the world know what is exactly happening here in Haiti. First of all, I want you people, the rest of the world, know Haiti is still paying the price for being the first Black people, the first Black nation in the world. And Haiti's freedom was not a gift. Our ancestors who came from Africa have to fight white skinned people. And our victory for independence was not only a victory as nation. This changed the world. Our independence changed the world, put an end to the white supremacy. And it was a disgrace for the Occident, all the imperialist nation, especially in Europe, with the help of the Catholic Church, who was saying that the Bible was God that said black people are slaves of white skinned people, and this was normally, this is what God wants. And since our independence, Haiti is a bad example for the West of the colony. And this is why country as French, Germany, and even United States administration always trying to do their best to put Haiti down. So if as the first black nation in the world, and now we have freedom, and now we make success, we develop our country, and all what they was studying since the past will be, people will know now they was lying. And to put, they have a system in Haiti. They are the one putting out the corrupt on the power. That means the real people, the people never have this freedom to vote for the people they want. That means our election is always fraud election. Except the election of John Bertrand Aristide and in 1990, that was the only election where the people go outside and vote the president that they want. And as you know it, US don't let him come at the end of his mandate because he was not a marionette as our actual president that have signed contract to US that it always vote against Venezuela. Just US can keep it in the power, even his mandate is at his term. And since 5 years now, we didn't have any election. That means now Haiti is out of a parliamentary. We don't have any Congress. We don't have any congressman. And this actual president have any legitimacy, and all the people, it's not only the opposition. I mean, the people, the country, no one wants him in the power, but US still have him on the power. And it's a shame for the US administration, as it's a shame for France, that is country that is calling themselves democratic country, which is putting that dictator in Haiti. And there has been many massacres. People have been killing every day in protest, and police are shooting and the day, and even nobody say nothing, nobody. And as I'm telling you now, the government have what we call the G9. The G9 is the 9 more powerful gangster in the country, which is federate themselves to work for him, to put fear, to say, now the government want to change the constitution. The government want to still send the power. And you're gonna say what the government, you're gonna do what the government say, because this is what the US administration want. This is a shame. This is a shame. Since more now than 7 years, this past 7 years, all the people have been on the street protesting days and nights, saying no. And they still keep going what they are doing. And this is a shame. And now this is what we're calling the core group in Haiti. The core group is a federation of embassy, that means US embassy, Germany embassy, French embassy, Canada embassy, UK embassy. They have federated themselves by that we call a core group. They are the one taking decision, and the president, who is a marionette, is doing what they want. That means Haiti, they are the one, they are the president, they are the prime minister, they are the vice president, and this is a shame. This is a shame for them, but they the media are not telling exactly what is happening. This is our big struggle in Haiti, because what is happening, nobody knows it. And this is a shame. But what my generation, the young people, we still believe and we're still fighting that thing there will be change, and we're still fighting. Personally, this last 2 years, I lost 19 comrades of fight. They are not even in jail, they are dead. They'll be shooting in their house.
Wow.
Personally. That's mean my brother, that people that used to be fighting with me. No, they are not here anymore. Now,
Wow.
even an ex-deputy who stayed with us to fight with us, because he only talked bad about the US government. Now they're taken in jail. There is more than 2 years he's in jail now. There is no reason, no case. He doesn't have any case, just because the USA is supposed to be in jail, and he's in jail. This is a shame. And people outside need to know what is happening. Now it is a jungle. There is any administration, any public administration, everything is closed. Even this guy that we said is our actual president, his mandate is at his term since that past February of 7. But USA, they still want him because he's the guy they want. Now they are trying to change the constitution. They are the one changing it. And they come now with that we call a referendum for this June 27 that will give them right, because there is there is no senator now in Haiti, any senator, any deputy since 2 years. There is one guy in the palace who is doing what USA has to do, and he's showing himself as the women show. And people out the world need to know that this is a shame for US administration. This is a shame for country that call themselves democratic country. This is a shame for them. What is going on in Haiti? Wow, I don't have any name to call what is going on. That means don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Maybe next week, in 2 weeks, you are calling me and you never see Brother John again. This is what is happening. As you stand up, you say, no, what is going on need to stop. These are now to be dead.
Wow. You know,
I'm not afraid of fighting, but what I need is people like you can show what's going on, let the people, let the outside know what is exactly what's going on in Haiti. Because the media, local media, international media are corrupted, and they are not telling what's going on. By the time now, May 19, that I'm talking to you, there's gunshot at the gang of the government.
Your line is freezing, my brother.
In another village that said no, say?
Yeah, your line was just freezing, and so we wasn't hearing you very well just then.
Okay, but what now? Okay. I say, yeah. At this present moment, there is gunshot. The G-Night, who is the federal gang of the government, are killing people to another village and citizen that said no with the referendum. The actual president, who is no more president, has no right to change the constitution, and they are killing them because they need people go to vote this June 27 to say yes, we need to change the constitution because the guy wants to succeed himself. That means they need to take the power for 25 years. This is the project that they have now. And nobody accepts it.
Wow, a really dreadful state of affairs. And as you said, total media blockout about what is actually going on. It sounds absolutely dreadful, my brother. I mean, people in the chat, you know, are saying that you will be victorious. Haiti will be victorious. You beat the Europeans in the past. You will beat them again in the future. You know, someone in the chat is sending you their condolences for your loss, and may your friends rise in power. There's someone in the chat who's posting in a different language. Sorry, I don't understand it. Let me see. What es un placer ponder compatria es monumento on ustedes. Does that mean something to you, Sean?
Can you read it, because I'm not seeing it? But I thought it's Spanish. If you can read what you say, I will translate. Okay. Es un placer poder compartir este momento con ustedes. Es un placer poder compartir este momento con ustedes. It's a pleasure to share that moment with you people. This is from Gustavo Pardo. Gustavo is a journalist in Argentina. It's a friend of mine. He knows about what's going on in Haiti, and weekly I talk with him. And yeah, this is Gustavo Pardo. And hasta la victoria siempre.
Yes, we need more media.
Hasta la victoria siempre. This is to the victory, because
your line is cracking up again, my brother, John.
This is Gustavo Pardo.
Your line is cracking up again. We'll come back to you in just a short while.
Yes.
Gustavo, we thank you for the journalism work that you're doing to raise awareness about what's happening in Haiti. We need to get some of your writings translated into English so that we're aware of what's happening as well, because, you know, there is a media blackout over here about what's going on in Haiti. You know, we just didn't have any idea. Let's see who else we've got in the chat. We've got Yashikia Blake saying good evening. She's actually watching us from St. Mary's in Jamaica. It's a pleasure to have you on board as well, Yashikia. We need you to let our people in Jamaica know what's going on in Haiti as well. We have Ubuntu in the house. He's saying European governments are nothing but a wicked bunch of criminals. You know, and I will add, you know, that they wear this cloak, you know, this facade that gives the impression that they're the ones who are upholding humanitarian issues. They're the ones who are the overseers of the world to make sure that everything is being done fairly and squarely in the world. And then we're hearing these absolutely dreadful stories of them behaving like tyrants, you know, on the streets of Haiti, murdering people. You know, and they're doing it with impunity. You know, it's a dreadful situation. We've got African Last Born saying Haiti is a Catholic believers. I wish they exploit the powers of the Catholic Church if it's possible. My brother, is this the case? Are many Haitians now Catholic believers? To what extent can they get the church involved in what is going on in Haiti? Thank you for that, African Last Born. Let's look to see, you know, what institutions, organizations can be called upon to help and assist. My brother Sean, what do you say in response to African Last Born's suggestion?
It makes me lie. I'm laughing, but this is misunderstood, because we Haitian, we are not Catholic, and nobody in Haiti is Catholic.
Oh.
But this is trace of the colonization. When they wanted to put our father, because French colonized Haiti through the Catholic Church. This is the Catholic people that say the black guy, God said that you need to serve the white sky people. This is in the Bible. And when our fathers say no, they cut your head. And they change your name, because this is why you see people as me can call my name is John. I can never name John. John is not an African name. You understand? When they take us from Africa and they say now you are Catholic, you are a Christian, and you can't talk no more in the name and your God, because you're gonna serve our God. Our God say you need to work for us. This is what the God said. And the Catholic Father will take you, he will write your new name with fire on your body. And he will baptize you. And this time you say you are no more Catholic, they will kill you. Yeah. This is what the story need to be told.
Yes.
And when we wanted to take our independence, this is the first thing that our father said, is to put out straw and garbage the God of the white man. We came back to Africa, our land. We call it our own God. We call it the inside of us, what we are, because we are African.
That's right.
We are here in Haiti and another place, but we are African, and we have our own tradition. And African people, we are the ones that teach God to European people. Now they can bring that back to us.
That's right. That's right.
The problem which is happening in Haiti, this is what is happening in any other black country, especially in Africa.
What we also do know, my brother, and have learned, is that Haiti used its voodoo powers to actually beat the Europeans back then. You know,
exactly.
Exactly. Voodoo power alive in Haiti, and to use those powers, you know, to, as this text is saying, to utilize those higher powers, you know, to defeat the enemy and to take back control of your country.
This is what we use. Our voodoo, Haitian, our voodoo. And now French people, because they are the one that is teaching at school, because the school are for them. Now they teach us our own story another way. This is what is happening when your story is writing by the enemy. You understand? This is what even they are teaching our children at school, that Bookman was a Christian. Yeah, but our generation know the truth. And this is why we are still strong and fighting. And they don't want people talking about voodoo. And you even know, after our independence, the father of the independence of Haiti, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, was killed, and for 24 years, no people could even mention his name.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. They know what they're doing. Yes. They know what they're doing. They are the Catholic Church is one of the first institutions that put Haiti in what he is now. And they continue to do it.
We hear you on that, my brother John. Let me bring in some of our panel members to comment on what they've heard so far, starting with Dr. Abu. Dr. Abu, we've heard from our brother John about what's going on in Haiti. What say you, my brother?
Right up to my brother Jean there in Haiti, you know, and our beautiful sister there in the Gambia, and you, Sister Shanice, and brother Ziggy, yeah? What, you know, we're talking about liberation, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, first of all, the mind have to liberate, you know? We have to liberate the mind. And we have to ask ourselves the question, from the last liberation day till now, what have we done? You understand? These are the questions, because when we talk about liberation is when the name of our heroes going up an institution, building, rising, and all of these things, you know? What we are up against, we are up against the French, the American, the British, all of these European, they're all Christians. They're all Christians. So what they are facing is European aggression, because that's what Christianity is: European cultural aggression. And they use the other sidekick called democracy. It's another European cultural aggression. You know, we got to realize that we can't talk about African liberation. And a couple of weeks ago, some of us is dead on Calvary. And in a couple of months, some of us are going to sing Silent Night, Holy Night. That blows now while I'm back in this bill. What I'm trying to make our people understand that African liberation means that you're completely freeing yourself from the addiction of whiteness. You understand? We got to free ourselves from that, because the Catholic Church and those things is like a crack pipe. You understand? It takes away the mind of our people. You know? But what the European cultural aggression done to the African people is take away their self-worth and make them sit down waiting on someone to help them. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, this is not the African way. The Haitian revolution, all the weaponry come from the thoughts. The weaponry comes with thoughts. I hear these liberationists them today want nuclear weapon, they want Kalashnikov, but they don't have the mind. And this is where we are. We want to take the weapon from the European to fight the European. It doesn't go like that. The weapon we have to come from our thoughts. So that means that we have to start to think like an African.
Yes.
We have to get back one with nature, where even the birds come to our aid. Even the snake come to our aid. Because that's what was happening in Haiti. You know, see? But we lost that. We lost that because we are praying to a God that collaborates with those who enslave us. And the God that was sitting at the table when they were scrambling for Africa. I apologize to no one out there. No one can tell me that I must respect Christianity. Why should I respect and honor something that abused me? I don't respect Christianity. I acknowledge that it's there, but I don't respect it. And I don't have to apologize to no children of the kidnapped people, because I know that a lot of them that want to persecute me for what I'm saying, they are an addict themselves. All the time.
Fudum, rise up, Dr. Abu. And My brother Jin, Dr. Abu, is also a presenter on Galaxy Radio, another platform that we have for reaching the masses. And so it's so important that, you know, those of us with media platforms provide you with the opportunity to share with our community what's actually going on in Haiti. It's a very heart-wrenching situation indeed. And, you know, we need to identify what institutions, what governments can actually come on board to help and support, you know, our brothers and sisters in Haiti. You know, these are supposed to be modern times. You know, these people have got to leave their, you know, their cave behavior behind, you know, and move up with the civilized times. It's just, you know, heartbreaking to know that people are out there murdering our brothers and sisters on a daily basis because they have the power to do so. You know, my sister Aminata, you've heard the, you know, the heart-wrenching account of what's happening in Haiti. What say you, my sister? Take yourself off mute, please, Aminata.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so disheartening to hear this testimony, but I'm not surprised. Having lived in the past with similar but different situations like that, also under a semi-dictator, I can call it. We get to know the realities that he's really what he's going through. I can feel his pain. But again, he said something that is very, very important for me, and that is one of the key things that one of our parliamentarians here has been advocating for, that is the inclusion of our native African languages to be taught in schools and all institutions to make sure that we have a national language that is African. Because you cannot really liberate yourself if you don't really know who you are. Look at his name is Dan. My name is Aminata. These are all not African names. We have our native names. For instance, I have a native name that I'm being called by my tribe. But officially, it is not that name because we're a predominantly Muslim country. And we have also Christians here. You have the Marys, Catherines, and so on. So we have come a long way to lose who we really are by being, you know, they change who we are. They give us names that they want us to know. They write our history and tell us that this is who you are. Imagine them telling us that, you know, they Mungo Park discovered the Gambia when my ancestors have been here for ages before even Mungo Park was even born. So they tell me that, you know, in school, they tell you Mungo Park was the one that discovered the River Gambia and what, you know, so we have to really look deep down. If we really want to liberate ourselves, we have to re-educate ourselves. That is by going back and doing research and educating ourselves and knowing who we really are. Because with our names and our identities and our institutions, until we get to that point, the struggle is still going to continue. And with the media, also, I work in the media, and I know exactly what he means by, you know, when the media is being censored, it becomes very difficult for both the media practitioners to tell the exact, to give the exact information on the ground because you fear for your life, not only for your life, but also for what can happen to your community. So you have to weigh the chances. And again, you're being taught by some people that will tell you, no story is worth your life. So what would you do? You know, you have to decide whether to tell the reality to the world, to show who is really doing what, or to just play along, or to say nothing. So your hands become so tight. So I can really understand and I can relate with what he's saying that is happening in Haiti as well. It is so disheartening. But that is our sad reality. And many African countries can relate to the same situation.
Rise up, sis. You know, I was having a little difficulty with my network, so I only caught some of what you were saying there, but I certainly hope that our audience and the rest of the panel were all able to hear you clearly. Let's bring in our brother Ziziwe while we've got him with us. Brother Ziziwe, please take yourself off mute. You've been having a lot of difficulty staying with us this evening. Let's bring you in while we've got you there. I don't know if you heard you know, from our brother Sean, or what's
Yeah,
going on in
FBI,
Haiti. You might want to
FBI,
comment on that.
CIA, and all the rest of them. Okay, so you know,
I'm not hearing my brother.
So you telling me that basically discussion about what's going on in Haiti?
Yes, that's right.
Did you hear me?
Yes, hearing you now.
Okay. So, Haiti is right. Haiti is one of the places where Africans are suffering. We're suffering in America. We're suffering in Europe. We're suffering in Nigeria, Senegal, all over. Where Africans are, we're on the bottom of the class structure.
True.
What that requires is unity, number one. Unity presupposes organization. Unity presupposes organization. In the past, we reached a level of unity among Africans worldwide. The enemy came and destroyed the progress we had made. And African Liberation Day is one of the institutions that was produced from that progress we had made up until the early 60s, when they began to go on the offensive with the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, with the overthrow of governments throughout Africa, so on and so forth. And what we have to do is we have to get our struggle coordinated again, such that we the revolution. Basically, this is a issue of power. It's a matter of being powerful. So in order to be powerful, we have to be organized, unified. And once we unify and organize African people, there's no power on earth that can stop us. So all it is a question of unity. And so African Liberation Day has been being celebrated as a commemoration of the ongoing progress in terms of our people being unified. And those revolutionaries who started African Liberation Day and Africa Freedom Day, 1958, there was 8 independent states. And they came together and said, we're going to celebrate progress in our struggle. And then in 1963, they changed in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, when they called it Liberation Day. And they also created the Organization of African Unity. 3 years after 1960, you had the Year of Africa. And so Africa was making progress in terms of our fight against slavery and colonialism.
Is my brother freezing?
It's breaking down.
Okay. My brother Zizi, where you're breaking up on us again. We're going to have to bring you back in when your line frees up a bit.
Yeah.
Our brother Zizi Way was just trying to give us a bit of history of African Liberation Day there, and talking about the fact that we as a people are suffering all over the world. And, you know, let me go over to the chat and hear what people are saying about what they've heard so far and what comments they've got. I want to welcome our brother Richard from Coming Up Restaurant in the house. I interviewed him earlier today on the Sister Shanice show on Galaxy Alfiwi. What an interview that was. An amazing interview, my brother. We've got to do a part 2. Welcome. We're glad to have you in the house. And, you know, African Last Born is saying we can only liberate ourselves through our culture and tradition. You know, I'm going to have to agree with that. It says, Dr. Abu is saying, we're going to have to go within ourselves to find our powers so that we can defeat the forces and the enemy that have waged a war against us and have been warring against us for centuries. You know, I do know and I do believe that we are more powerful than we realize. And as has been said in the chat, that is why we are kept at such a low vibrational level, because anytime, you know, we have the freedom to be able to vibrate, you know, in synchronicity with the earth's heartbeat, anytime, we start getting back in touch with our true self through nature, through the stars, through astronomy, through in the way that our ancestors did. When we start realizing and going inside of ourselves and finding those powers, we will be able to fight this war against us using powers that we didn't even know we had. We as a people used to be able to do magic. We used to be able to think hard enough and create fires. I mean, there's a level of science inside of us that our melanin is able to conjure up that has been deadened to us. And anytime that wakes up, it's going to be a game changer. And as someone has said in the chat, they're taking us out as quickly as they can because they know that their time is limited. We know that they've got a zero birth rate. Nature is fighting against them right now, but they're using their weapons of mass destruction to try and take many of us out as possible. And they've set the game up. Even with the new jabs, the big C that I'm talking about, they've stepped up their game now to try and remove us from the face of this earth. These are serious times indeed. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. African Lastborn saying, connecting to nature, it's the greatest weapon against any enemy. It definitely is. Our body is made miraculously. We don't give our bodies and the way that we've been made up, I don't think, the credit that it deserves. And, the powers that we can get from nature, the powers that we can get from syncing with nature, we've got to find those powers. We've got to tap into ourselves because there is a war that's been waged against us to remove us from the face of this earth. And, we're hearing about what's going on in Haiti because, they have been so resolute and so resilient for centuries. They've been fighting for centuries and they're still continuing to fight today. And the wickedness of the oppressors, and the forces that have been organized and put in place to keep them oppressed. We have utmost respect for our Haitian brothers and sisters who are continuing to fight, and as they take us out, what they don't realize is that we are going to be coming back stronger. Yeah, we're going to be reborn and we're going to be coming back even stronger than before. So the quicker they take us out, the stronger we're going to be coming back. Let me quickly try and bring in Ziziwe again while I think we've got him on the line. Brother Ziziwe, over to you.
Yes.
We're not hearing you.
International.
My brother's easy way, it's not working. You're going to have to try and relocate in your house and find somewhere where you can get better reception, my brother. We so want to hear what you've got to say, but it's just not working. You're going to have to find a spot in your house where you can get clearer reception, or even outside your house, but it's not working right now. Okay, so we'll allow our brother to find somewhere where he can come over more clearly. And okay, stay there. I heard you say, I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. What, frozen again? No, he's gone. We've lost our brother Ziziwe and we've lost our brother Sean. Oh my days. Let's bring back Sister Aminata. Sister Aminata, let's hear from you, my sis. Please take yourself off mute.
Yes, I just did. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. And I'm seeing very interesting comments, very interesting points from the comments. For instance, one from Monkey saying, Tiffany, the men, mainly not the childbearing age females, they do a lot to remove black men from the dating pool. Look at their, wow. this is there is a lot definitely that we really need to do. But like I said before, we really need to know who we really are. By the way, I also have some content that we provide on the media. That's Pan TV. It's co-owned by myself and some other sisters and brothers as well. So we have some we do some documentaries, we do some fact checking, we do historical background of who we really are. We write up very interesting and conscious articles that we put out there for the people to learn. There's a lot that we can, one can just gain from going through and then reading our website as well. It's called panaf.tv. But like most African countries, we have a lot to do to do in terms of educating ourselves. For me, I see education as a top priority because that is where it starts. It starts from us in the household, starts from the mother to the kids, and then because it is us, the woman, who give birth to the men and to the women of generations. So it is up to us once we liberate ourselves as women, we know who we really are, we know our history, where we came from, and how we started, and how powerful we were. In my part of the country, women were so powerful that we were empresses. We kind of ruled. When we were ruling, everything was well organized. Before the Wazungu who came up with their own version of democracy, with their own version of civilization, which we introduced to them, which they copied from us, went and came back with something different to teach us. Sorry about that. There was a distraction in the background. So it is very important for women to be liberated, for women to be emancipated, and especially to teach ourselves our language. This is what I always advocate for. Wherever we go, we really need to learn our language because there is so much in a language. It is our identity. There are several things that you can never I don't know. You don't have it in the white man's language, for instance. In my native Jola language, we have certain traditions and certain things that you can never see in the white man's language. It doesn't exist there because they don't really know what that is. But the day they get to learn, to know what that is, they'll take it and rewrite a version that suits them and distort the information and come and teach back our kids and tell us that this is how the Jolos are, this is how they used to live in the trees and whatever. Sometimes when I come across these books, I'm like, am I in a different Africa or is this somewhere else? Because I still think there's so much distorted information about us out there that when you read, your heart becomes broken. So it is high time that we start to write and document our stories as Africans. That way, generations yet unborn will learn from us, and then they will really know who they are and where we are. I guess, brother, this way is on the line, and perhaps we might give him a chance to say something.
Thank you, my sis. And just looking through the chat, looks as though there's a bit of a gender issue going on there, and not seeing the origins of it. But where there's a king, there should be a queen. Where there's a man, there should be a woman. And together, is the way that we're going to fight this and win this. We need each other. We really, really do. Dr. Abu, let me bring you in, and then we'll try and bring back in Brother Zitiwe again, and hope that we can hear from him this time round.
Yeah, rise up again, family. Again, if we don't study military science, we can never defeat our enemy. Over the years, them of us singing songs like, I lay my burden down by the riverside and I study war no more. Imagine a set of people that is going through slaughter, sit down and sing about, I study war no more, and then sing it with pride. I study war no more, I study, and war is upon us. And this is what they do to us. They get us these hymns. Because we're not even sing her, a hymn we are sing. We are sing this chauvinist European terrorism song and expect to be liberated. I was talking about it last week. How can we talk about liberation and sing Amazing Bloody Disgrace? Eh? How can we talk about liberation and I hear Africans singing a song that the captain of a slave ship write, and we sing that with passion and pride and all of these things, and talking about, we got to realize that we sing ourselves to the gallows. We are singing ourselves to the slaughterhouse. We are singing our children to the executioner, because we will not change the narrative. We will not, you see, it's like we want to be accepted by someone else, and we don't feel accepted by even ourselves. We don't even accept ourselves until someone else accepts us. That's a slave blood. That's a slave. You understand? And until we realize that we are the only friend we have. You understand? Because they teach us certain song. Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. And we sing this bloody thing and mess up our head. Till today, right here in London, you have African woman putting out their African man for Jesus. Today it even go further. Them a put them out because the man not get vaccine and she get vaccine. So they say we're still following the European narrative. We don't want to be around even our brother no more because they don't get vaccinated. So you see, something is really wrong. Wrong. If we don't put down the European crack pipe. Budum,
Dr. Abu. My apologies, I'm dropping in and out there. Wow. You're right, Dr. Abu. They've got us singing all sorts of songs that is just disarming us and distracting us from the real danger and the real horrors that are facing us as a people. So that, we're singing our way to the slaughterhouse, totally oblivious of the plans and the schemes and the plots that the enemy have, up ahead. It feels like, the Jews, when they were on their way to the gas chambers, they were given a false narrative. They were given the impression that they were just going to go and take a bath and that they should leave their clothes behind. And here we are singing our way, to the slaughterhouse, totally oblivious to the plans that the enemies have, for us as a people. What we know and what we feel is that we're oppressed, that their forces are on our neck, on our backs, that they're taking advantage, that they're exploiting, that they're murdering us. But it's, we're being picked off one by one. And this seems to be what's happening. Brother Ziziwe, we've got you back for a little while. Let's try again, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. My PC finally decided to let me into, it's unbelievable, this technology. All this time, we had this program. I've been trying to get this PC to act right. It finally let me in because I was using my phone. Anyway, what do you want me to speak on? We're supposed to be talking about African Liberation Day and unity as a whole. And I hear everybody talking about the different issues. Now, we need to focus on some solutions, I would think, a little bit. Our party, the All African People's Revolutionary Party, says that the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism is the only way Africans will be able to unify and have enough power to solve all the problems that African people worldwide have. Africa is the richest continent on earth, but yet we're the poorest people on earth. We can feed ourselves and the whole world. We can clothe ourselves and the whole world. We can take care of all our problems. And we know that, as Dr. Abu said earlier, Africa was attacked by France, Germany, England, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, all at the same time. And ever since they did that, they made sure Africa stays divided. these borders in Africa now are false borders that were created with the intention and purpose of keeping Africans divided. Now, I had got a chance before to talk about some progress that was made, and that was those forces of Pan-Africanism who managed to bring about some level of unity on a continental scale with the creation of the Organization of African Unity. And African Liberation Day is one of the institutions in that whole struggle, that whole process that led to the independence of all the African nation states. That in 1960, they called it the Year of Africa. Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Patrice Lumumba, all these people were working on the building a United States of Africa. And some of the leaders who led the independence movement, they disagreed with that. And that set the movement to unify Africa back a great deal. So African Liberation Day is something that we commemorate the onward progress in our struggle to rid the continent of these backward forces internally in Africa, because we have enemies within Africa, as Dr. Abu and others pointed out, and also to deal with the external enemy, which is the European ruling class. And like I said before, if Africans unified and waged this armed struggle, which Kwame Nkrumah has a book called The Handbook of Revolutionary Warfare, we believe that's the best roadmap to the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism. So during African Liberation Day, we going to have this year on May 23rd and May 25th, we're going to have a couple of panels on the 23rd, whereby we discuss the galvanizing the forces who support Pan-Africanism. And that would be the socialist nations around the world who have helped us in the past, like Cuba, Venezuela, etc. The second panel is going to focus on the women, because as we talked about many times before, the women are the backbone of the nation. They also are in the front line of the struggle. So we must talk about our women and how they play such an important role in our struggle. Our third panel will be on the 25th of May, in which we will discuss galvanizing the political parties that are in power. Because like in Zimbabwe, Angola, Mozambique, and these other nation states, if they were to unify and comprise one all-African army, one all-African political power, that would be a big step towards our liberation. And see what happened in Libya and Ghana and Burkina Faso, where Thomas Sankara was, these nation states were going in that path, in that direction. And so the enemy made a move to destroy those nation states. And the problem is that there was a lack of African unity. Some of these nation states even agreed to have a no-fly zone over Libya, which led to the total destruction of the Libyan state. And now they're selling us like slaves in Libya on the auction block. So the whole key is we got to have unity. And like I said, unity presupposes organization. So this year, we want everybody to come to our webinar on African Liberation Day. You go to our website, AAPRP-intl.org. You can participate in our African Liberation Day webinar, or you could go to AfricanLiberationDay.net, all one word. And when we have one unified socialist Africa, we will also be able to stop the oppression of African people in Haiti, in Europe, in America, because we'd be such a powerful force. It's like Malcolm X. He talked about this extensively. He said, when the Chinese people liberated China, they didn't mess with Chinese people nowhere else in the world, because China was a powerful force. They used to say you had a Chinaman's chance in hell. That's what Malcolm X says. And then after China got liberated, oh no, they didn't say that no more. And now look at China as a powerhouse in the world, and the U.S. is trying to attack China because China is a threat to their power. And what brother said about Haiti, I didn't hear all of it, but we know that that government there is a puppet of the U.S., right? So we have to help our brothers and sisters in South America, all over the world, because when they enslaved our people, they scattered us to at least 130 different nations around the world, you know. So we got people everywhere who we want to be part of this process to organize our people for Pan-Africanism. Our party wants to recruit everybody of African descent into our party. We also want everybody to join our organization or another organization that's genuinely working for our people. It's as simple as that. And Malcolm X talked extensively, and many others, about how we need to be organized. When he left the Nation of Islam, he created 2 organizations. And when he came to Africa, the last time before his death, he had met with Kwame Nkrumah and others on a boat called ISIS, and they said many people in our party believe they planned a strategy to coordinate our struggle worldwide. That's why they had to kill him. He had made a coalition with Dr. King, right? Maya Angelou was there at Ghana. So here we had the Organization of African Unity, and then Malcolm X comes and he creates the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And check out what he said. He said the OAAU is a sister organization. Peep that. A sister organization to the Organization of African Unity, right? And he said that on purpose because he honored our women and recognized our women as being the backbone of the nation and a vital force in our liberation struggle. You know, and I asked earlier, when I was on the show earlier today, I asked the question, does anybody know Malcolm X's African name? And I'm waiting for somebody to tell me if they know. But we ain't heard it yet because we got off into a whole lot of other stuff. And that's what the narrative is. See, the narrative with Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, is to keep you distracted into this narrow nationalist position about what he did in the United States. But yet Malcolm X was an internationalist. And you never hear the name Malcolm X and Pan-Africanism together. He was a revolutionary Pan-Africanist, without a doubt. And so we honor him on this day. And we also honor Yuri Kochiyama, who was the only member who was not African in his organization. She was Asian. And Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh was a great freedom fighter. He was a member of Garvey's organization in New York City. And he wrote a document against the oppression of Africans in the U.S. around 1921, that long ago. So when he went back to Vietnam, he was the leader of the Vietnamese Revolution. So, you know, anytime we wage a struggle, thank you very much, sister, for putting those pictures up. Anytime we wage a struggle, that struggle includes people all over the world. Malcolm X talked about the Bandung Conference of 1955, where no white people were allowed to be in that conference. 1955, Bandung, Indonesia. And that gave birth to Afro-Asian solidarity movement throughout the world. And when Kwame Nkrumah led Ghana to end, he also created an organization in solidarity with the peoples of Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So what we have to understand in our struggle is that we have so many allies throughout the world who've been the victim of the same terrorism that's been heaped on us as well as them. And so, like was talked about earlier, we have to know our enemy. We have to know what we faced in this struggle. We have a very powerful enemy that has the capability of putting 1 million soldiers in a particular area within hours, because they have 1,100, the U.S. has 1,100 military bases around the world. And they also had all these military alliances like NATO, CETO, CENTO, all them other O's, right? And inside of Africa, they have AFRICOM. This thing was set up with the intent and purpose of occupying Africa and making sure things are done in the interest of the European capitalist system, so nobody else can get access to those resources. And at the same time, supply weapons and manpower to these puppet heads of state in Africa so they can keep the people oppressed. And we all seen what's going on in Nigeria. We see what's going on in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Mali. Our people are rebelling against oppression. And even in Ghana, our people are rebelling against oppression. But these puppet governments, they have military hardware and everything else, and they're killing people. Same thing is going on in Haiti. You got neo-colonialism. Kwame Nkrumah wrote a book about it, where you have African faces in the right places. So, they fooled a lot of our people with that whole strategy to put people in place in Africa and every place, wherever other places where Africans live, even the United States, with the selection of that House Negro Obama. Everybody fell for that Kool-Aid around the world. Oh, we got a African-looking president. See?
True blood.
Right? So we can't fall for those tricks. The key is we have to get organized. We have to get mass organization, because when we focus on individuals or what we think is superheroes like Malcolm, Martin Luther King, and Nkrumah and others, without having mass organization, they kill the leadership and the movement dies. So, we're saying our people, we have to be mass organized. We have to fight to politically educate our people and focus especially on the young people and the women. And it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We're going to win this battle, there's no doubt. We might not see it in our lifetimes, but we're making progress. We're making plenty of progress. Look at what happened last year when the whole thing with George Floyd and the others happened in the U.S. That rebellion spread like wildfire, right? Now, look at what they did to the Palestinians. People are demonstrating all over the world. The issue is this. We have to get all these forces organized into a fighting unit to wage an armed struggle to get AFRICOM out of Africa, get those Uncle Toms out of Africa, and establish a nation. Anything less than a continental unity is leading to the enemy having control of our people. Anything less than one unified socialist Africa is going to be a problem for our people, because we have to have continental unity, one central government with all the resources that we got, and we can work wonders to help bring about peace and stability in the world. And so these are kind of things we're going to talk about at African Liberation Day on May 23rd and May 25th. Don't forget, go to AfricanLiberationDay.net or go to AAPRP-intl.org so you can find a link to participate in our African Liberation Day program. And we ain't the only ones doing it. She just showed on the screen, there's African Liberation Days occurring all over the world, right? And there's been many institutions from the struggle of our people to attain freedom. Some have passed by the wayside, but right now we still got African Liberation Day, and we still got the mass of African people who are ready and willing, especially our young people. It's just a matter of coordinating our struggle as one. No matter whether you live in Haiti or in UKKK or in the United States or in Azania, South Africa, African people got to be organized because we're suffering all over the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ashe, thank you so much for bringing to our attention, the unity that's coming together around ALD, African Liberation Day, events happening all around the world. I think we're more organized and more together, actually, than we give ourselves credit for. When you go onto those websites that our brother was talking about, you will find information about ALD events happening all over the world. ALD events in the United States of America, ALD events that are happening in Germany, that's happening in Brooklyn, New York. There's a link here for other ALD events. The Pan-African Congress has got events coming on as well, and Solidarity Days. There's a Pan-African Liberation Day happening in what's this? It's in another language. It's in looks like Spanish. There's an event in Ghana. There's one in Palestine. There's an event in honor of Malcolm X and African Liberation Day. There's one happening in the Virgin Islands, another one that's organized by the Black Power Frankfurt movement in Germany. I mean, there are so many events. Let's go to the next page as well and see what else we've got. We've got events, virtual events that have been organized by the AAPRP. I mentioned Brooklyn already. So there are many. There's one in Zimbabwe, one in Dakar, in Senegal. There are many virtual events, family. There are so many African Liberation Day events being organized. There's one in Kenya, one in Grenada, another in the United States of Africa, and as I said, the Pan-African Congress movement have got one as well. So there are numerous worldwide African Liberation Day events happening. And it's all about, you know, us coming together as a people to remind ourselves that our struggle continues, to remind ourselves that our struggle, you know, we're still on that journey to freedom. We are yet to be truly free. We are yet to be truly liberated as a people. You know, our revolutionary fathers who seized back Africa in the late 50s, early 60s, you know, they got back the land. But as we know, the colonizers maintained their control, their stranglehold on the continent. They maintained control of our economy, control of our legal system, control of our educational system, control of our healthcare system. You know, they maintain control of our political structures, the institutions that govern our countries and our nations, our currency, our economy, our leaders. They maintain control of all of the pillars of power. You know, hence why we're still in the situation that we're in, feeling as though, you know, the outsiders are strangling us and not allowing us to, you know, be free to exploit our own resources for our own benefit. So, you know, African Liberation Day is a reminder of the works that we have yet still to do. And a very important part of that work is liberating our minds, removing the shackles from our brain, because although we have been liberated physically, although the chains have been removed, you know, from our hands and our necks and our ankles, we are still nevertheless mentally enslaved. And you know, some will say that, you know, that form of enslavement is even more dangerous because we can't see the chain. You know, it's like the donkey that's been tied to the pole or tied to the tree for so long, you know, that
what did Marcus Garvey say? What did Marcus Garvey say? He said, if you free the minds of men, eventually you free the bodies of men.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, I think we all know the situation regarding the donkey anyway. Even though the chain might have been removed and the donkey had the freedom to do whatever it wanted to do, it has been conditioned, which is what the education system does to us, condition us to stay in our place, to know our place and to stay in it. That's what the miseducation system forces us, teaches us. And it also, you know, disempowers us. It doesn't bring us into an awareness of our greatness, an awareness of the great heights from which we, you know, have fallen from, so that we, you know, are not in a position to elevate to that level again. So let's go around the room. It's we're 1 hour and 33 minutes into this particular broadcast. We've had quite a lot of technical hitches along the way, but nevertheless, we're still, you know, moving along as best that we can. And thank you, family in the chat, for keeping the conversations going there as well. Let me go around the room. African Liberation Day, what does it mean to you, Dr. Abu? What does our liberation look like to you, or what does it mean to you for us as a people? You know, what would it look like when us as a people are truly liberated? Dr. Abu.
When we honestly declare that I I'm a recovery of white privilege. You understand? You know? That is when you can say that I'm dealing with liberation because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We are trying to liberate those who have, and those who have nothing get nothing. You know, we have to realize that liberation is for the weak also. It's for the poor also. It's for the illiterate also. You know, we can't come here and join the have club and forget the have not out there. And this is how I see some people look at liberation. You know, we pick out the best amongst us and segregate it, and then the rest suffer. I've seen a lot of us go to Africa, so we are dealing with liberation and go there living like the same European. I see a lot of us go to the Caribbean, so we are dealing with liberation and live the same thing. We got to change the narrative. We got to change our attitude and our behavior. We got to say what we mean and mean what we say. Voodoo.
Voodoo, rise up, Dr. Abu. Let me go over to our brother Sean. Sean, what will freedom and liberation look like for our people in Haiti? Because it's coming. What's it going to look like? What is
Yes.
the difference going to be?
Yes, we are sure of that. Our liberation days is coming and is close and is very close. We know it and we feel it. This is why more than ever we are fighting with more determination. And African liberation, or the Liberation Day for Haitian, mean the day that we will take our place back. When I'm talking about take our place back, we African people, we Black people, we are not fighting to become high. We are just fighting to take our high place that we had before, that our ancestors had. And what I mean is Liberation Day for us is taking back our place in this world.
Rise up, my brother. Sister Aminata, same question to you. What will liberation and freedom look like for you in the Gambia?
It will mean a lot to me, especially knowing that one of the biggest things that it will mean to me is gonna be waking up and seeing that women are really emancipated. The woman has is giving back her freedom and her liberty and her leadership role of bringing up upright kids and grooming a better generation, making sure that when you go to the office, the institutions are all African institutions. The mindset, you know, that you're working for your country and not you working for your pocket or you working in the interest of the white man. When you go to your center or prayer of worship, you know that yes, there is this God, this being that you're talking to, that has always been there, who doesn't regard color or gender, you know, or location. So it means a lot of things. It means making sure that the Gambia people can really afford the basic commodities, things that we really need, making sure that the farmer is really empowered to make sure they plant things that we're going to eat and not bring in, you know, have a government that would import things that we never really know where they came from. And then it would kind of destroy our health system, affect our education, the way we think, and even the way we reason. So it will mean a lot of things to me, definitely. And we look towards that. But for ALD, for now, until that time, ALD is a moment of reflection for me and for most of my colleagues. We look at our past ancestors and our leaders, where they started, where they're at, what were their challenges, and what were their success stories. And then we carry on from there. And we hope that sooner than later, we will definitely be truly liberated and not to be controlled by some Western imperialists.
Rise up, sis. We're getting a sense of what freedom and liberation will be like for the women in Ghana and the people, sorry, in the Gambia. Yes, indeed. Let's bring back our brother Ziziwe. Brother Ziziwe, you put a question to us. You asked, you know, what Malcolm X's African name was. I don't see the answer in the chat as yet. Let's give our family a moment or two to tell us. But yeah, can you tell us about, you know, how Malcolm X was transformed, the new transformed mind that Malcolm X came away from Africa with, because as part of his journey in the latter years of his life, he visited Africa, didn't he? Mixed with African leaders, he was at African summits and events, and his mind was transformed. Can you tell us about those latter days and latter years of his life, please, Easy Way?
We have to go back to the origins of his life, whereby his father and mother were members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. And here Malcolm X, as a young child, was so intelligent, and he was the only person of African descent in his class, and the little white kids voted him class president. And that was in the day when, you know, we were being lynched. We're talking about the 1920s, the year of their Lord. And here he was, the class president in an all-white class. That's how astute he was. Even when he was in the criminal life, he was the leader of the gang. He was an intelligentsia. When he was in prison, he was in the debate team. You know, they went to a debate against folks at Harvard and won a debate against these European intellectuals at Harvard. And here he was in prison. So that gives you an indication of how his early life, being a child of a family who was in Marcus Garvey's organization, part of the greater Pan-African movement, shaped his life. And so when he joins the Nation of Islam, it carried further. Out of getting out of jail, he traveled to Kenya in 1959 and met a man by the name of Pio Pinto. They formed an alliance. Pio Pinto convinced him to fight for Pan-Africanism. And so inside the Nation of Islam, Malcolm was so advanced, he, you know, the proverbial, he outdid the teacher. How does that phrase go? He was so sharp. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon his name, this man was so awesome, and he was getting information from all kinds of sources. And he was humble because he could go right out in the hood, right in the middle of the hood where the worst crime and all that stuff. And he went in all these areas where all the poor people were, and he would listen to anybody, and he learned from everybody, although he was so intelligent and so mature at a very early age. So he realized that our struggle was a human rights struggle, not just civil rights limited to America. He said, let's take it. He said, power is international. Let's take it to the international institutions and bring charges, bring America up on charges of genocide. Of course, that hadn't been done. That had been done before with Du Bois during the First World European Imperialist War. Went to Versailles in 1919 or 1921, whatever year it was, to charge America with genocide. So he learned about these things, and he was going to, when he went to Africa, he asked the heads of state to support him in his effort to charge the United States government with genocide. Unfortunately, none of them supported him. I got to find out why. Even the radical states, I don't think they supported him. They were afraid of the tremendous pressure that the United States and their allies would put on them, because being that they were emerging from independence, they had to get money from these European capitalist banks like International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. So although we gained independence, we still were weak because Africa was not unified properly. It was unified basically from the top down with the leaders. And this is one of the things that Nkrumah realized. He made a mistake trying to unify these leaders because a lot of them were sellouts and actually were working for the enemy. So that's why he wrote the Handbook of Revolutionary Warfare, to talk about the necessity to organize the masses and build an all-African people's army, because he said that the only thing that's going to clear up this neo-colonialist fog is the armed struggle. He's correct. So here Malcolm X comes on the scene, He travels to Africa in 59. He goes back in early 1964, and he meets with these revolutionaries, and they plan and strategize, and nobody knows what he and Kwame Nkrumah talked about, but we suspect they were talking about coordinating our people's struggle worldwide, because Nkrumah and the other revolutionaries had built the organization and solidated with the peoples of Africa, Asia, and Latin America, and also the Afro-Asian Summit, and also the first Pan-African Women's Organization in 1962 in Tanzania, right? So they were organizing the women, they organized the unions, they organized the students, and here Malcolm came into the picture to work with them. So when he came back, the enemy, they killed him because they knew that he had this international influence. They knew that he was going to bring the U.S. on charges because the United Nations was supposed to meet in March of 1965. So when he left Africa in January of 1965, after being there again, meeting with the revolutionaries, he went to France, and the French government would not allow his plane to land. And we all know the reason why, because the U.S., France, and all the intelligence services, they work together. So the French government, knowing that they was going to try to kill him, they didn't want him to be killed in France because they knew that the Africans in France were going to tear France up. You know, there's a lot of Africans in France, as we know. A lot of Africans in the UKKK. So they didn't want him to get killed in their soil because it would lead to social insurrection. So when he came back to the Snakes, his house was firebombed on the 14th, and they killed him on the 21st. And by the way, he had joined this organization called the Revolutionary Action Movement that had recruited him and Dr. King. And they worked underground. It was secretive because Malcolm said, we don't want it to be overgrown, or we want to be underground because a man by the name of Robert F. Williams was part of the Revolutionary Action Movement. And Robert F. Williams was living in Cuba. So they would have arrested them for being in association with an international fugitive. And Robert F. Williams was a strong nationalist also who had to flee the United States, him and his wife. So anyway, here Malcolm was unifying Africans in Africa, Africans in the Snakes, and he called his organization the Organization of Afro-American Unity, and it was supposed to be their sister organization to the OAU. Started the first chapter in Nigeria, by the way. And that's when he got his African name. And I see somebody figured it out. I saw it a minute ago. The students in Nigeria gave him his African name, and he had ID. And when he organized that chapter, June 28th, 1964, it was mostly Africans who were born in America who were living in Africa. So W.E.B. Du Bois's wife was there in Ghana. What's her name? The poet, mentioned her name earlier. I forgot. She was there. And unfortunately, that was when Muhammad Ali came to Ghana, and he dissed Malcolm because he was told not to associate with Malcolm, walked right past him. They stayed in the same hotel. Maya Angelou was in Ghana. She joined the OAAU in Ghana. So this is what happened with Malcolm. He was working together, coordinating the struggle with Africans on the continent, and it was going to be worldwide coordination of our struggle. And the enemy knew this. We just didn't know it. So they had to snuff him out before he got this whole organization off the ground. And he said this organization was for Africans in North America, South America. He was going to include all our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and in South America also in that organization.
Well, his works continues, my brother. His works definitely continues. We are linking together with our brothers and sisters on the continent. Although some of us reside in the diaspora, we're making the links that Malcolm X was making. So a few people was trying to guess his name. Someone said Omawali. Was that his African name? There's another one here that's saying Malik Haj Shabazz. Malcolm X. That doesn't sound too African. So what was his name? His African name?
His African name was Omowale X, given to him by the students in Nigeria. That's correct.
Omowale X.
Malik Al-Shabazz. Malik Al-Shabazz was his real name.
Thank you so much for that.
So,
okay, we are 10 minutes.
Yes, Malcolm X and African Liberation Day go hand in hand. Malcolm X and Pan-Africanism go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
You know, he was the personification of the struggle of our people, just like Garvey and Nkrumah, just like Queen Mother Moore, just like Claudia Jones, who was born in Jamaica. You should know her. All of them were the personification of our people's struggle.
Liberation.
For African liberation. Thank you.
Good to call their names. Absolutely. Okay, so we're just going to go around the panel. We're 10 minutes away from the top of the hour. We'll just give each everybody 1.5 minutes or so. So, family, this is the season where we come together as people. You know, we talk about our liberation. We review our progress. We see, you know, where we are on our journey towards our freedom. And we hear from our brothers and sisters around the world about the struggles that they're facing. And we try and work out how we can offer them support. You know, someone's put in the chat, you know, free West Papua. Let's not forget, you know, our brothers and sisters in West Papua who have been wiped out by the Indonesian army. Dr. Abu, a few closing remarks from you, my brother.
Well, never been a closing, you know, never been a closing, you know. We just want to say that I hope we can all meet here next year with more development, you know, more solution, because liberation come with solution, you know, and this is what we have to run the narrative that's all we have to move higher, you know. So with my brother Zigdaway and my beautiful sister there in the Gambia, you sister Shanice, and our brother from Haiti, I understand said more voodoo to each and every one of us. More voodoo.
More voodoo back at you, Dr. Abu. Thank you. Sister Aminata, a few words from you before we depart for now.
The struggle continues. Let's get organized. Let's become stronger. Let's read and empower ourselves.
Ashe, Ashe. Brother Ziziwe, a few closing remarks from you. Take yourself off mute, please. You might be on mute.
I don't know if I mentioned that in Kenya, the government killed Pio Pinto 3 days after Malcolm X, just for historical information. But what I want to say to you all is that power is international. The enemy has been coordinating this oppression on an international scale for a long time. We have to match them or surpass them in terms of organizational levels, because once we become organized, we are such a powerful force that nobody on earth can stop us. And we are going to get liberated in spite of ourselves, as Kwame Ture used to tell us, even if we don't do nothing. Because look, they depend on Africa's resources. All we got to do is cut off the oil or the rubber or the chromium and use it for Africa. And the European economy is on a thin thread as it is. The U.S. is in trouble also. It don't take much. And since we got our people scattered in all these different places, we got soldiers in all these different places, right? Those of us in America, we can sabotage them here. We can pin them down here. They can pin them in Jamaica, Haiti. We can pin them down in Africa. They are in big trouble once we get our forces organized and coordinated. But it's going to be a rough struggle because the capitalist system got to be, the American capitalist system is the main force that has to be destroyed, with all these military bases around the world encircling different nations, right? And dominating, controlling the world's economy. American capitalist system must be destroyed, and it's going to fall because of its own internal contradictions. The masses of people in America are going to destroy the American capitalist system, and we're going to help them. Thank you. Come to African Liberation Day virtually, May 23rd, 25th. Go to AfricanLiberationDay.net. Please join the organizations working for African people in total liberation of Africa. And if you don't like our organization, there's plenty out here to join. Thank you.
One love. So, yes, thank you so much, Brother Ziziwe, Dr. Abu, and Sister Aminata. You know, this is the next couple of strongs. Over the next couple of strongs, there are so many virtual African Liberation Day events coming up. Please do check out the websites so that you can find out or about all the events and put the dates and times of all the different events in your diary. Join with your brothers and sisters around the world. Find out what's happening, you know, where we are, wherever we may be in the world. We heard from our brother Jean tonight from Haiti. We heard, you know, it was heart-wrenching hearing what they're actually going through in Haiti. We need to come together and be thinking about how we can help to support our brothers and sisters in Haiti. There's clearly a news blackout over what's happening, but the powers that be are making their lives hell. You know, do we have any human rights lawyers? Do we have any lawyers who can stand up for our people in Haiti and put together a case and bring it against, you know, those that are causing the atrocities? They're murdering our brothers and sisters in Haiti in cold blood. They're imprisoning, you know, activists and protesters. You know, we've got to expose what's going on. And by us talking about it and raising awareness about it and shouting about it and making noise about it, we will begin to shame the enemy and shame those, you know, into stepping back from what they're doing. So let's get together, make a lot of noise about what's going on, raise awareness about what's going on in Haiti, and shame the wicked people and expose them for who they are. Because as bad and as wicked as they are, you know, they still, you know, don't like being shamed, because they've created this false impression, you know, that they are, you know, the angels of the world, when in fact, you know, most of us know that them are the devil in disguise. So, you know, family, let's expose the devil and in dirty deeds, yeah, so that they can take their hands from around the necks and the throats of our people wherever we are in the world. We are winning. We've come a long way over the last 100 years. We are winning. We've come a long way over the last 50 years. We are winning. We've come a long way over the last 30 years, the last 20 years. Progress is gradual, progress is slow, so that's why sometimes it's difficult to measure it on a day-by-day basis. But look at the reach that we're making now. Look how we're communicating with each other, with those of us, you know, in the diaspora and those of us on the continent. We are coming together, family. We're coming together, whether we're in the UK, America, Ghana, Gambia, Haiti, Bermuda, wherever we are in the world, family, we're coming together and we're beginning to be on the same wavelength, despite the miseducation that's trying to maintain, you know, that indoctrinated colonial mindset that they're trying to give us. Despite all of that, we are shattering, you know, that miseducation, and enlightenment is coming through. The light is coming through, and we are, yes, what have you got there, Dr. Abu? How European underdeveloped, yeah, Africa. One of the books, you know, that we absolutely must read so that we understand what's going on. What have you got there, Ziziwe? Move it over a bit. We can't see it. What's the title? I'm not seeing it. But let me have a look on the other screen, see if I can see it better.
Class struggle in Africa.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So family, do your reading. Let's get on the same page. Let's be clear about what it is that we need to do in order to liberate our minds and liberate ourselves from the oppression that we find ourselves in. Let's reach out to our brothers and sisters in Haiti as well. One love. Psychic dictatorship. Enough books being shown. I'll have to go and get some books and come back now. I'm not going to bother. You know the ones that you need to read. Thank you, Dr. Abu. Thank you, Caesar Way. Thank you, Emanata. And thank you, Brother Sean, in your absence. To everyone in the audience who's been with us throughout the evening today, thank you so, so much. More power, more strength, and more voodoo to each and every one of you. One love.
Thank you all. Ready for revolution.
Ready for the
Viva
revolution.
Africa. Viva African Liberation Day. Africa must